Hello, everyone, and I'm live as you can see. I am not going to be doing coffee break with Marta on Friday as I'm organizing that beautiful Awaken the Divine Feminine retreat with Ricky. So I thought I would hop on and do this live right now. I'll wait for anyone who's going to join me live. And if you're watching it on a replay, welcome as well. I hope you're all well. I'm so tired. Spirit's been waking me up every day at 5:30, giving me downloads, and there's been so much going on in my life. So it's been challenging, but today I'm on my coffee break, and my spirit team really wanted me to hop onto this, well, to do the live, because there are people who might, not only might, who are going to benefit, who need to hear what I have to share with you. So today I want to talk about manifesting with spirit. Hello, everyone who's joining. Let me know how you are. I'm going to pay attention to all of the comments on YouTube as well. So yes, what I'm going to share with you is something deeply personal, but also I believe deeply spiritual, and it's always challenging to tell one part of your life experience because it is all interlinked. But the story that I'm going to tell you is not about me. It's a reminder that, hi, Oti. So the story is not about me. It's a reminder that you can co-create with the universe and that your spirit team is guiding you, and that when you trust your intuition, not the outside noise, miracles happen. So I moved to Scotland when I was 24 years old, right after I finished my master's degree. I was a very independent, career-focused woman, and well, one thing that keeps popping into my mind, at uni, I was probably the last person you would expect to want marriage or children. I was building my business and doing lots of shoots. And then I remember I came to Scotland. I found a job in one of the hotels. I saved money, and then I went backpacking with my boyfriend, later on my husband. And we traveled for 2 months. We started in Panama and we finished in Mexico. So we went through Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, Guatemala, Belize, and Mexico. And I remember how frustrated my family was, because back then they were telling me, oh no, you need to keep saving money for furniture, you need to keep saving money for the wedding. This is very irresponsible to spend money on life experiences and on traveling. But I really wanted to do it, and so I did. And why I'm mentioning this to you is that everything shifted when I came back, and I want to talk today about my studies that I did in Scotland, and then about my pregnancy, because I think that's going to support some people here. So I got married at 26, and at 28, I gave birth to my first child. But here's the thing. I always knew I wanted to have my children before 30, and I knew I wanted to have 2 children. Not because of pressure, but because I cherish my freedom. So I wanted to raise my babies early, pour into them, and then be able to concentrate on myself, my calling, my spiritual path. And I remember one day I felt that nudge. Okay, let's make a baby. This is the day. Like, it came out of the blue. And I trusted it. I had a conversation with my partner back then, and we talked. And I remember we discussed, like, are we ready? Should we wait? And then I thought, you're never really ready. There's never a perfect time. So yeah, I got pregnant straight away. And here is where it gets interesting, because I had health issues, a benign tumor on my pituitary gland, some hormone imbalances, various health problems. And I remember when I told the doctors that I was pregnant, they didn't believe me. So I knew straight away from the beginning that I was pregnant. This was before even any tests would detect it. And they were already talking about infertility clinics, like I was imagining things. Yes, they did tell me, like, don't worry, if you're not pregnant, we are going to send you straight away to an infertility clinic. And with your health problems, you're not going to have to wait. But I knew my body, I knew in my bones, and I knew from my connection with spirits that I was pregnant, and I was right. And that was one of the first moments where I really felt it. Don't let people to talk you out of what your soul already knows. At the same time, I was planning my family because I wanted also to concentrate later on my professional life. And you might think, oh, this is like absolutely stupid. Doesn't really make sense. But I wanted to have my children and then at the same time concentrate on continuing my studies. So before I got pregnant, I ran my translation and interpreting agency, and I done everything like medical interpreting, like doing interpreting at different police stations, courts, community work, and I would be translating documents, teaching. But I reached that state of burnt out, and I knew that there was nothing else that inspired me in this job. My company expanded, and then I started offering multi languages. Well, basically, various people asked me to keep translating their website, and I had to outsource various translators to do it. And it wasn't fun, that admin job. I truly love translating, but I didn't want to keep searching for other people to do it. So then I realized that I want to go back to university. I want to study something here in the UK. And I realized after that 2-month backpacking journey throughout the Latin America that I wanted to study culture, human connection. And so I found that course in St. Andrews, which is in the first three places in terms of the rankings, in terms of the best universities in the whole UK. So basically, I applied to be considered for a PhD in social anthropology in Edinburgh and then in St. Andrews. But this is the fun thing, is that I didn't have any academic background in anthropology. I had a master's in translation studies, and back in Poland, I did master's in marketing and management, Faculty of Economics. So absolutely nothing to do with social anthropology, but deep down, I felt that would be so exciting to do a PhD in that, because I knew I wanted to study, but I knew that, well, I didn't imagine myself doing a PhD in translation studies because I was very fascinated by translating and the process of it, but I had no interest in learning theories and why do you translate this the way, that way, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. So because of those travel experiences and witnessing so much beauty and traditions, I followed what truly lit me up. And so I remember I applied to study social anthropology at Edinburgh University, and they told me, oh, you would have to do another Tot Masters. And I'm like, I'm not doing a third Tot Masters, I don't want to do it. And then what St. Andrews told me is that you can do a master in research, which really then opens you up and you would be able to do a PhD. And what I managed to read in a small clause in the program was that if you perform exceptionally Well, in the Master of Research, you might be eligible to transition into PhD, and they would take basically the first year of your Master of Research, which was 1 year, as your first year of your PhD. They normally don't do it, but it is possible. So that was my door, and I walked through it, and I was accepted. So now imagine this. I was 28 years, and so I planned to do my PhD. I planned my pregnancy. I got pregnant and I started my full-time PhD a day before Anthony, my son, was born, and I was still running my business. So I was starting a full-time postgraduate degree at St. Andrews, an hour and a half from Edinburgh, where I live. And it was funny because I remember my friends took me to the first class, and there's no hospital in St. Andrews. So he had maps and routes to all of the near hospitals in case I went into labor, and people thought I was crazy. But I trusted the timing, and I trusted myself, and I trusted spirit, and I made it work. And I brought Anthony to classes. I bought myself a car because there was no direct train, and I would travel with my ex-mother-in-law, with various friends, babysitters who would look after Anthony in our coffee room. So Anthony was the youngest social anthropologist, I would always joke, but I would breastfeed him between lectures. And then I traveled to conferences with my son, who was just an integral part. And also, I was able to do a research without having to go to any of the Latin American countries, because Spirit directed me to urban anthropology, and I started exploring notions of cosmopolitanism and actually doing research at home. And so I did my research with the Latin American community in Edinburgh. So that's also, I'm just explaining to you how spirit really helps you. And if you really want something, they are going to help you to do it. And later on, I applied for childcare once Anton was a little bit older, because that PhD, it lasted, it took me 7 years, well, 6 years, and there were some corrections. It takes a long time. And I carry on like translating back then, and I applied for a scholarship, and part of my PhD got funded. So that was really, really beautiful. And then came another chapter. So I really wanted another child, because the plan was to have 2 children. That's what I felt from the start. But life was hard, and my marriage, my relationship started falling apart. And then, just when I thought it was all aligning again, I got pregnant and I miscarried. And I lost the pregnancy in May 2015. My son was born in 2012, and it was devastating. And it was one of the most painful things I have ever experienced. And people didn't understand, and they tried to say the right things, but often just made it worse. And what they didn't see was that I had already bonded with that soul, and that baby was real to me. And I remember I was in my room crying out to spirit, I can't survive this. It makes me emotional as well. I can't lift myself up from this grief unless I become a mother again. I need the soul to return. I need another baby. And 2 cycles later, I got pregnant again. My rainbow baby, Elizabeth, was born in April 2016. She came through like light after a storm. She was the answer to a prayer I didn't even know how to say properly. And I know the universe, God, and my spirit team held me through all of it. And so I completed my full-time PhD with 2 children, a business, and a spiritual calling that was growing louder and louder. It wasn't easy, but it was real. And that's what I want you to hear, because you can co-create with the universe in specific, powerful, soul-aligned ways. You can manifest what feels right for you, even when no one else understands it. What I want you to know is that you must trust your intuition and your spirit team more than outside noise. Because people will tell you what's not possible, they will project their limitations onto you, but you are not here to play small. You're here to trust your knowing, to follow what lights you up, and to remember that your path is sacred even when it doesn't make sense to others. So this is what I really wanted to share with you today. So I want you, hopefully, to realize when you listen to this story that you're all guided, you're all supported, and you are powerful beyond measure. What's important for you to know, if you haven't realized already, is that we have free will as human beings. So your spirit team is not able to support you or intervene unless you ask them. That's why, in order to manifest life of your dreams, anything, and you can be so specific as I've given you an example, you just have to ask for support, and you just have to tell them. Because what happens, and frequently my clients, when I do readings or when I mentor students, they actually realize that they do not know what they want to manifest. They're very overwhelmed, they're not grounded, and they're actually upset that they do not live lives of their dreams, but actually frequently they're not even aware what their dreams are. So if you're watching it, Spirit is asking you to take time and really get honest with yourself. What is it that you want to experience in this lifetime? What is it that you want to manifest and create with Spirit? And get very specific, write those things down, and then tap into those feelings of how those things make you feel, and make sure that that you say it in the present moment, as if it was already happening. Because for the spirit world, there's no basically distinction between present, past, and future. It is all happening at the same time. So convince yourself and the spirit team that you are living a life of your dreams, and know that you deserve whatever your soul and your heart wants to. Do not allow anyone to tell you that you cannot do something, that things are not going to work out, that things are going to always be complicated. I truly believe that you can achieve anything that you want. And it's so much easier to manifest and to go through this life experience that's very short. We only come for a very short period here on earth. It's so much easier when you allow yourself to be supported by your spirit guides, by angels, and then by your loved ones as well. Yeah. So that was that spontaneous life that I really wanted to do. Hi, Monica. How are you? Hi, Oti. Hello, Marta. We have a new moon in Cancer on Friday, and today, tomorrow. I would encourage you to get honest with yourself. What are the things that you want to remove from your space? That includes your physical space, but also your energetic space. If there are any people, any things that don't support you, perhaps it is time to remove yourself, because during the new moon in Cancer on Friday, you get an exciting opportunity to manifest and to set new intentions. But in order to set new intentions, you have to be aware, or like you have to create space for new things to enter your life. That's one thing. But then you have to be honest with yourself. What is it that I really want? And don't play it small. know that you can achieve, you can experience anything. So if you like journaling, do automatic writing, like write anything, don't second guess yourself, write anything. Or if you're more visual, you can do a map, a vision board of the things that you want to bring to life. Or if you're very clairvoyant as well and you do not like writing, you can just basically meditate, sit in stillness, and try to visualize things that you really want to experience. Morning, Victoria. Hi. I'm about to finish this live, but it's going to be available on a replay. I just talked about manifesting with spirits and how we can do it, and I shared some personal stories that the spirit world really wanted me to share with you today. Okay, I have to go now as I have some work to do, but I'll be live with Ricky on Thursday. Yeah, we are going to be live tomorrow. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you all for coming to this live. And also, if you're watching it on a replay, thank you as well. And feel free to share it. Share this video with anyone who needs a little bit more hope, or anyone who just wants a little bit of boost and encouragement that life can get easier, that life is to be enjoyed, and that you can manifest anything that your heart and soul really want to. I'm sending everyone so much love and thank you for being here. Okay, bye everyone. Thank you.